There's a reason why so many people don't like the idea of personal development. And there's actually also a reason why so many people find so much resistance when they get into personal development. Because personal development says, I need to become somebody new. I need to become great. I need to take a lot of action. I need to force. I need to struggle. I need to work very hard to develop myself, to develop the person. However, manifestation and spirituality says, I already am the one that I desire to be. I don't need to become whole, complete, and fulfilled. I am whole, complete, and fulfilled. I don't need to become great. I am great. I don't need to become the version of myself that I desire to be. I already am the version of myself I desire to be. And so it's like, which one is right and which one is wrong? Because the fact is, personal development deals with the physical reality, right? And then spiritual development deals with the spiritual reality, with the mental realm and the spiritual realm. So in this video, I'm going to essentially just break down the difference between personal development and why so many people find so much resistance when they begin developing the person, quote unquote, which really you'll come to find out in this video, there is no person to develop. There is I am, and I don't want to spoil it. I'm going to spoil the whole video in the intro. And then we're going to discuss essentially how to get rid of all of this resistance, right? And I'm just going to talk about how to effortlessly get into personal development, but not from a place of lack, from a place of wholeness. So that way you can just do it with zero resistance. And also, the reason why you should be listening to me right now is because I've sold a little over 500,000 copies of my books, Project 369. I'm a private life coach. I'm an 8-figure entrepreneur. I've helped thousands of people transform their realities from the highest planes of consciousness and essentially just manifest miracles in their lives. So let's get started. In front of me, you're going to have the whiteboard of truth. On this side, you have personal development, and on this side, you have spiritual development. The personal development deals with the me. It deals with the ego. It deals with the person, essentially, right? And spiritual development deals with the principles of I am, deals with the principles of consciousness, deals with the principles of awareness, right? The first question you want to ask yourself is, why am I getting into personal development? Why? What's the actual foundation? What's the reason why I want to develop the me, develop this person? And most people, they're going to find this answer right here. I need to fix myself. I need to fix this me. There is something inherently wrong with the me. There is a problem with myself that I need to fix. And I do that through personal development. So the reality of it is I'm getting into personal development because I'm avoiding a problem. My desire to grow, expand, and evolve is not coming from a genuine desire to move toward the reality that I want to create, but rather to move away from the reality that I don't want. And the reality that you don't want, it's ultimately an illusion. And so that causes so much resistance in people. It's like, for example, if you want to have a chocolate, and let's just say you're on a diet, the more you think about that chocolate and the more you judge yourself, the more you think that chocolate is so wrong, you're just going to have so much resistance. And chances are, because you're operating from ego consciousness, chances are you're going to eat that chocolate and you're going to break your diet and you're going to be like, shit, right? And then you're going to feel shame, guilt, and you're blah, blah, blah. But as soon as you just give yourself grace, as soon as you're like, well, you know what? I can do whatever I want. And I'm just going to focus on what I want to create. I'm going to focus on eating healthy. I'm going to focus on taking care of my body. I'm not going to focus on the problem, chocolate, at all, right? Because it's not even a problem. The ego latches on to a problem. It wants to move away from problems. It wants to fix things. Our brain is wired to survive. It's not wired to thrive. We're not wired to succeed. We're literally just wired to move away from danger. And that's how our nervous system is also wired. So a lot of people, the reason why they get into personal development, because they're operating in ego consciousness, is to fix this me. So they want to move away from problems. And, they do this out of what? Out of guilt, shame, anger, fear, regret, and so on and so forth. And the ultimate goal of personal development really is pride. This is the ultimate goal of personal development. Like, once you reach pride, I'm proud of myself. Without that pride, they're completely empty, right? And so they're doing all of this. They're moving away from their problems through guilt, through shame, through anger, through fear. They're working hard. They're hustling just to get to that pride, just to get to the, yes, I am the one that I desire to be now because I am performing the actions. But if I don't perform the actions, then I feel like complete shit. If I don't perform the actions, then I feel guilty. Then I feel ashamed. Then I regret everything. Then I'm very angry. And the only reason why I'm continuing to move forward is out of fear of not going back into the old place that I've been. It causes so much resistance. People don't want to get into personal development for this reason. Nothing is wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. You have to dissolve the illusion that there's something wrong with you, that you need to fix something. That's not why you get into personal development. But unfortunately, that's why so many people want to get into personal development. And that's the reason why they can't get into personal development, or they start getting into personal development and then they stop. They go back into old negative cycles because the ego, survival-based paradigm, right? It wants that comfort. It wants that safety. It wants that security, which really is problem. Now, spiritual development, it comes from a place of wholeness. Spiritual development is realizing I don't need to fix anything. I am already perfect. I am already whole. I am already complete. Abundance is my birthright. I don't have to go chase abundance. I don't have to become whole, fulfilled, and complete. I am that right here, right now. It's literally the very essence of my being. So there's nothing to fix. I am in harmony with who I am right now. There's no judgment on myself. There's no guilt. There's no shame. There's no anger. There's no fear. And there is no pride, right? It's just, there is no ego as a whole. And so because you're whole, the only thing that you want to do is move toward what you desire. Because there is no problem. So the only thing that you're actually focusing on is quote unquote solution, which the solution is really what you want to create. It's the only solution. So since there is no shame or guilt or anger or fear or any of that, this comes from inspiration. It comes from joy. It comes from greatness, peace, power, and love. So you're starting to create reality from heightened states of consciousness. You're not focused on moving away from problems, which are illusions that the ego latches onto. Because the ego is no longer there, because you are already whole and in harmony with all that is, with who you are, because you remember the truth, and the truth is the only thing that sets you free. And the truth is very simple. The truth is I am. There is no other truth, right? So now you only want to move toward what you do desire to create. And you're not chasing anything. The desire to create is just coming from the soul. You want to genuinely express a version of you that you already are. You're not running, you're not jogging because you're afraid that if you don't jog, you're going to feel like shit. You're going to be guilty. You're not eating healthy because you're so scared to just eat chocolate. You're not doing things to move away from problems. You're doing things out of love, out of inspiration, out of just the remembrance of who and what you truly are. And then when you start creating reality from this place, you become authentic. And this ultimately leads to enlightenment, because there is no ego anymore. So you're always whole, fulfilled, and complete. You're not identified with the becoming. The becoming is really just a remembering. That's all it is. So, for example, you want to create something new in your life, right? You want to, quote unquote, in this physical reality, you want to become somebody new. Spirituality says, I already am this person right here, right now. Because the fact of the matter is, I could just visualize myself as this person. And because it exists within my imagination, all I have to do is accept it. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between imagination and reality. When you were a child, there was no difference between imagination and reality. there was just imagination, and that was your reality. You could shift your identity easily. One day you could become an astronaut, the other day you could be a skateboarder, the other day, and it doesn't matter. You didn't need external evidence and proof, right? The desire to just express, to just be, wasn't contingent on doing 100 reps. No, it was, I am this person right here, right now, and thus I am just expressing this person. But on the other side of the spectrum, here's where spirituality and manifestation can be a trap for a lot of people, especially for the people who are just getting started, who are like new to manifestation. They say, I am the person that I desire to be, right? Or let's just say they get inspired by a master pianist or by a professional skateboarder. I've given the master pianist example so many times in my previous videos. But a master skateboarder, right? They're just so good. And then the first time they hop on that skateboard, they suck. But they believe in their head. They're like, but I am a professional skateboarder. I visualized it, I imagined it, and I accepted it. But now I just suck. But the fact is, once you stop identifying with the outcomes, with the results that you're seeing, once you stop identifying with the world of results and just start focusing on internal progress, show up as the person who is a professional skateboarder, but don't identify with the results. Just show up as this person. And if you're going to use the results, just use them as feedback, not as something to identify with. Because the thing is this, if you identify with it, now you're going to cause disharmony in your subconscious, because your subconscious is going to believe I suck. Your subconscious isn't going to believe I am the person that I desire to be. But on the personal development space, they're just going to say, well, do that trick 100 times, and I promise you that you will be good. And that is the truth. Do it 100 times and you will be good. And you won't have that fear. You won't have that resistance. You won't have anxiety anymore. So personal development sort of gets a check in the physical reality because they're focused on the becoming, but they're doing it out of lack, right? And that's where spiritual development comes into play. You already are a master. You already are the one that you desire to be. If you focus on internal progress, just showing up as that person, expressing that person every single day, not you have to become this person. I guess in the physical reality, sure, it's the becoming, right? You become this person physically, but you just remember the fact that you desire it means it's already yours. Means that on a spiritual level, this version of you already exists. If it didn't exist, you wouldn't have the desire. We're all very unique in essence. Each one of our souls has very unique, different desires that we're here to express. Whoever made this cup, right? Whoever made the coffee beans that made the coffee in this cup, they had that genuine desire to create what they created. I don't have that desire. I thank the people who created it because I'm able to drink out of the cup and I'm able to drink the coffee, right? However, it's not my desire. And so as you can see, like this has a purpose, right? The cup has a purpose. This microphone has a purpose. The whiteboard has a purpose. The software that I'm using, everything, this pen has a purpose. And then we look at each other and we're purposeless. That's where spiritual development comes into play. You're not purposeless. Your purpose is to express your desire. Your purpose is to find your authentic self and express your authentic self. The problem is we were never truly allowed to express our authentic self when we were children. A lot of us were not able to do that. The love was conditioned, right? We had to hide our authentic selves in order to receive love and support from our parents, from our friends. And so we were indoctrinated into certain belief systems that suppressed our authenticity out of survival because we needed to survive from our parents. We had to choose, do I want to be authentic or do I want to survive? Well, I'll guarantee you most of us chose survival because we needed the love from our parents. And now so many people are conditioning their wholeness, their fulfillment, their love on the external. I need someone else to love me out here. I need someone else to support me out here. If they don't, then I don't have that love and support. I'm not going to get too deep into this. I have another video about this. That's actually the last video that I made. But anyways, you get the point, right? Your whole purpose here on earth is to express your heart's deepest desires. And I'm talking about your heart's genuine desires. Okay, so next, a lot of people in the personal development space, they're coming from a place of lack, while the people in the spiritual development place are coming from a place of abundance. And what's the key difference between lack and abundance? Well, lack says I am inadequate. I am insecure. I seek love plus support plus validation externally. And all of this is really because I'm unworthy. Again, it's all like I'm lacking something. I'm inadequate. I'm insecure. I'm unworthy. And so in order for me to be worthy, in order for me to be whole, complete, and fulfilled, I need to do something here in order to be whole, complete, and fulfilled. In order to not lack, I need to constantly be doing something. But now spiritual development, the abundance, is ultimately coming from, again, wholeness, fullness. I lack nothing. I lack absolutely nothing. I am in harmony with all that is, and therefore I just focus on what I desire to create. So here's the thing, right? You want something out there. Let's say you want to move to a new house. And right now, you're not at peace. You're not happy because you're not in a new house. Your environments have not changed. But if you were in that new house, if your environments did change, how would you feel? Well, you would probably be at peace. You would be calm. You would be relaxed. You would be happy, right? But why can't you feel that peace and happiness now? Why do you need to wait for this to change in order to feel that? And the fact is, if you don't feel peace now, I promise you, even if you got into that new house, you're not going to feel peace because you're going into it from a place of lack. But if you do find peace right here, right now, if you just tell yourself, I am at peace right here, right now, I don't need anything to change outside of me because I control my own peace. I control my joy. All of that is contained within me. When you do get to that new house, when you do manifest it, which number one, you probably will manifest it because you finally changed your internal state, and this outer world is only going to be a reflection always of your internal state, right? Of your frequency, right? But when you finally do manifest that house, that's only going to amplify the peace and the joy that you've already found within you. Without finding that love and joy within you first, nothing externally, and I promise you this, it's the ego's illusion that thinks otherwise, nothing externally will make you find that love and peace. That joy and peace. Nothing. So it's about understanding that everything ultimately exists within me. The love, peace, and joy exists within me. I don't need to seek love externally. I need to be love. I don't need to seek abundance externally. I need to be abundant. I don't need to seek anything externally. I simply need to be. And from this place of wholeness, I create. I express. This outer world automatically starts reflecting the change. And this is just going to amplify my wholeness. That's it. I don't need validation externally. I really don't care because it's not going to affect my internal state of peace, love, joy, and abundance. That's it. And now you start creating reality from this place, and you're going to see everything shift entirely. And this is also why Matthew 13:12 says, whoever has, more shall be given. Whoever doesn't have, even what he does have, shall be taken from him. Because everything boils down to your internal state of consciousness. It is the only thing that ultimately matters. Nothing else matters. This outer world is only a reflection of the state of consciousness that you're embodying, of the frequency that you're creating reality from. That's it. It's the only thing. This world is literally just a hall of mirrors. It's amplifying your frequency, your state of consciousness, the mental attitude through which you're coming from, the emotions that you're feeling, right? The state of being. Who are you? Right? That is what this outer world is just amplifying and reflecting back to you because that is what you are projecting outward from within, from your state of consciousness. So next, the people in personal development, their primary focus is in doing, is in action. However, since they're trying to fix something, a lot of this is struggle, hard work, grind, force, will, power. So they're just trying to outrun the ego through more doing. You can't outrun the ego. The fact is, the ego is the illusion, right? So you're trying to outrun your frequency. You're trying to outrun your identity. You're trying to do all of this work only to return back to the same exact place because you're coming from guilt and shame and blah, 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 and anger and all of this. It's just a constant perpetual cycle of up and down. You can never transform yourself in this way. And even if you do transform yourself in this way, only focusing on the grind, the force, the willpower, the hard work, struggling, right? You're never going to actually be fulfilled. You're never actually going to be happy. Why would you not be happy? Just so you could reach a place of pride of I'm better than other people? Seriously? Is that it? Is that all you want? Right? That's separation consciousness, right? Which is where the personal development really resides in. For as long as there's separation, there's also survival. So this is all really just coming from survival. And spiritual development, they're focused on being. They're not focused on external things. They're not solely focused on taking action. And there's nothing wrong with taking action, but their action is inspired because they're focused on their being. So their action is inspired. They focus more on alignment. They ultimately just express the state of already having. And this just makes everything so much more effortless because I'm not grinding, I'm not forcing. I'm telling myself I'm doing what I do. I do what I do because I am who I am. It's plain and simple. I do what I do because I am who I am. I'm showing up as this person every single day. I'm doing what this person would be doing with the person, which really the person is just an infinite creator. I'm an infinite creator, and so I show up as the infinite creator. I am great, and so I express greatness. I don't need to become great. I am great, and that's where my action is coming from. I already am the one that I desire to be, and so I effortlessly just express it. I align my frequency, my identity, my state of consciousness with the reality that I desire to create. I'm not chasing that reality. I'm saying it's already done. And I'm just coming from this place. And all doing, keep in mind, comes from being. In order for you to even do, you must first be. It's not the other way around. All of your actions are either coming from lack or abundance. If they're coming from lack, you're going to be chasing something because you're going to want to fill an empty void within you. And you're thinking that the very thing that you're chasing is going to fill this empty void, but that's the illusion. There is no void in here at all, right? And so in spiritual development, there is no chasing at all. Everything is just effortless. You're coming from peace. You're coming from joy. You're coming from fullness. You already have everything that you could possibly want. You're just acting it out in this physical realm, not identifying with all of the results that you're seeing, but identifying with the internal progress of showing up as this person, being this person every single day, and that's it. Because you are this person, you do what you do. You're not outrunning something that needs fixing. You're not outrunning anything. You're not fixing yourself, all right? And this right here, I promise you, this is like going to completely change your life when you fully understand this. My clients have literally paid me 6 figures for this information. You're just getting it for free, okay? And so coming from this state of having rather than the state of I need to get something out here, I need to chase something out here, and then I'll be whole, fulfilled, and complete. But no, I already have that. I'm just expressing it. The fact that I desire it means it's genuine. I already have it. It's not something out there that I need to go get, that I need to go grasp. I am. And because I am, I do effortlessly. That's it. There is absolutely no separation. Everything is unity. I am my desire. My desire is not out there. It's within me. Everything is within me. Because that's the whole purpose of I am. Within I am, all versions of you exist now. All versions of you exist now. It's just about relaxing into that state, not forcing yourself into the state. Because forcing yourself means that there is an illusion that you're trying to outrun. You're not forcing anything. Your desire is not separate from you. You're not lacking anything. You are whole, complete, and fulfilled now. And when you realize that, when you come from a place of harmony, when you say, I already am the one that I desire to be, I'm just going to naturally express it, you're going to see how effortless everything is going to be. You're going to see how much you're going to collapse the amount of time and effort it actually takes for you to get to your destination, for you to actually manifest what you want, for you to transform, because we're transforming from the highest planes of consciousness. We're not transforming from ego consciousness. We're not operating from a survival-based paradigm anymore. We have outgrown that. The time has come. So if this really resonates with you right now, most likely you're ready to stop, coming from lack, to stop coming from scarcity, to stop coming from, oh my God, I need something out here. I need to become, I need something out here to be at peace, to feel love, to feel joy, to be abundant. You need nothing out here. The universe says you are it. Because you are the universe experiencing itself. You are a divine fractal of Source God Creator. That is the very essence of your being. You are an infinite creator. And so when you come from this place, when you come from the place of I am an infinite creator, I can create anything. You only focus on what you want. The illusion is you have a problem to move away from. Stop focusing on the problem. The ego just latches onto that problem, and stop judging yourself. Give yourself compassion. Give the ego compassion. Forgive the ego for all of the hard work, for all of the struggle, for all of the grind. Trust me, I've freaking been in ego consciousness. I mean, look, I'm a serial entrepreneur, right? And so I know what it feels like to even go up and down, to go up and down in the scale of, force and willpower, but that's really unconsciousness. Like for me, whenever I find myself forcing something, I know that I'm unconscious. I'm not actually conscious. I'm not operating from the highest level of consciousness. I catch myself immediately. I regulate my nervous system. I relax into the state of already having, and it is from that place where I create everything from now on. I don't need anything out here. I have everything. Because the fact is, we want to survive, but we want to survive from a story that we're just creating in our head. We want to move away from a story that we've misidentified with. You're not that story. You're not the story. The story is just a mental construct that you've misidentified with. You've constructed in a whole identity around this story. Remove yourself from that illusion and just focus on what you want to create. Focus on expressing the version of you, the version of your soul, who you truly are. Remember who you truly are and understand that the remembering is the becoming, not the other way around. So focus on being and align your doing effortlessly. Come from this place of wholeness. Focus on wholeness, peace, love, joy, abundance. Create from this place. I lack nothing. I am whole, complete, and fulfilled now. Next time you have any resistance, repeat that affirmation. I lack nothing. I am whole, complete, and fulfilled now. Then you're just going to see everything change, all right? And that's it for this video. So check out my books. Also, I do have just a couple slots open for one-on-one. All right. I've been fully booked literally for 3 years. This is the first time that I actually have empty slots available to work one-on-one, but they're most likely going to go quick. And so if you want to apply, I'm going to leave a link in the description below. I love you so much. I appreciate you. What a simple video. If you truly just take this into consideration, because this is a whole shift in paradigm, a whole shift in thinking, a whole shift in the way you're going to feel when you actually start creating, which that, by the way, is everything. A shift in how you create, the actions that you're taking, the behaviors that you're reprogramming your subconscious mind with, and ultimately just a shift in reality. I appreciate you. Let us create.